Hi, I'm your host Vasco Duarte. Welcome to the Scrum Master Toolbox podcast, where we share tips and tricks from Scrum Masters around the world. Every day, we bring you inspiring answers to important questions that all Scrum Masters face day after day. Hello everybody, welcome to our Success Thursday. This week we have with us Rayyan Karim. Hey Rayyan, welcome back.
Hey Vasco, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So Thursday is Success Thursday here on the podcast. We'll talk about what success means for us as Scrum Masters in a minute. But before that, do share with us, what's your favorite retrospective format and why?
Do you know what? I was thinking about this because I knew we were going to discuss this particular question today. And I thought my most frequently used is not actually my favorite, right? So my most frequently used is the Sailboat retro. So I think it's just a fantastic way of getting everyone on the same page, and it can be slightly adapted to the context that you're in and the conversation that you feel that team need to have. But my favorite one is actually the Spotify health check model. I don't know if you're familiar with the Spotify team health check model. It's fantastic. It comes up with lots of key criteria that the team then score red, amber, or green on, which then gives you a basis for conversation. And if you apply that into a retro setting, you then can very quickly get everyone on the same page and everyone understanding how they see themselves overall, which then helps you start to find those value areas of improvement and then find the 1, 2, or ideally not, but maybe 3 things that they want to improve in the next cycle. The reason why I like it so much is because it can be very effective for one team. It can be even more effective for many teams at the same time. And I've had amazing success applying this to whole programs of 200, 300, 400 people, all at the same time on the same call, leveraging breakout rooms. But it means we can get a really good understanding of where those teams are, where they think they are, and where therefore the whole program sees themselves in a very short space of time. It's the same space of time it takes to do one retro, basically. It takes to do an infinite number of teams if you use this model.
As long as they're doing it on the same spot. All at the same time.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. Fantastic. The other thing I like about it is it's highly adaptable. So obviously Spotify have their model. They've got their cards, right, that they put forward. For example, like mission, I think, is one of their cards. And you're rating whether you can see and feel and taste the sense of mission that you're there as a team to create, and rate it red, amber, or green. But I always adapt it, right? So it depends on what's most important for that program at that moment in time. I will remove amber. I don't like amber. I don't want to see no neutral. I want red or green. I want red or green. One or the other.
Either we're happy or we're not happy with it.
Is it good enough or not? Right?
Yeah.
That's all I want to know, right? And that's all we need to know so that we can just get to the crux of things quicker. So, yeah, the Spotify health check's my number one impactful retrospective.
Yeah, absolutely. I really like how you describe it. We'll put the link on the show notes for people to go and check it out. And I would really put the emphasis on customize it to your current reality. And here's a tip and a bonus. You can use one retro customizing the squad health check, and then another retro using the customized squad health check. That's 2 retros in one go. And it gives the team the ability to define how they want to see themselves, right? And as a kind of a trigger, a catalyst for them to reflect on what success means for them.
Absolutely. Great tip.
Right. So we now dive into the reason why we do these things, the retros, which is to succeed, right? We're there to help teams succeed. And of course, that means also for us to succeed as Scrum Masters. So Rayyan, share with us, what's your definition of success for yourself as a Scrum Master?
So there's 2, right? 2 main categories of success for me. One is those hard and fast, business performance results. Are things more effective? Are things faster? Are they higher quality? Do we create a better customer experience, right? So we're all working to create a customer's experience of a business in some fashion. So is that getting better? And are we getting better at turning that around, at understanding the problems, at creating fast solutions, right, that are effective and can last the length of time they need to, right? That's probably my lower prioritized outcome, but it is one that is really, really important to me. That really, to me though, and this creates the second one that we just described, the first indicator of success to me is happy people that can be themselves, right? That feel comfortable sharing their thoughts, sharing their views, being authentic, discussing things freely, using their own language, and everyone accepting that, oh, they're just being themselves, right? And whether some people might use some slang, some people might swear, some people might speak in their native language now and again, right? Other people like to challenge things often, right? All of that being accepted within a workplace, right? The good, the bad, the ugly, right? That's when I feel like I'm having the most success, right? Is the team smiling? Are they grinning? Are they getting along well? Do they understand each other? Do they accept each other? Does everyone feel that they can go to work and be themselves, right? That's the number one for me.
Let's walk through these two categories, and I'll leave the best for last. So I'll leave the happy people for last, and let's go back to that hard and fast business performance results, as you called it. Let's be a little bit more specific. So we're talking to Luke out there thinking about, okay, so how should I measure myself? What should I be looking at? And maybe creating their own personal reflection list for the week. What are concrete things that Luke should be asking himself about this specific category, the hard and fast business performance results?
Yeah, so one thing that Luke should be aware of is that story points can lead you down a bad alley. So don't focus too much on the story points. Teams can start to game them as well. It's a good indicator, but it shouldn't be the one you focus primarily on. You should be primarily focused on cycle time and lead time, in my opinion. And if you've got a shoe-heart control system, if you've got that scatter graph and you can apply upper control limits by adding standard deviation, and you can find the lower control limit by minusing standard deviation from the norm, then what you'll be able to see is an improvement over time. You'll be able to find the indicators as to what is the type of variation that needs to be sorted first of all. So that's always the special cause variation, right? What are the events that are happening outside of the usual way that we work that are affecting our performance? And then the other one you should look at is within the upper and lower control limit, you'll find common cause. Common cause is because of the way that you've organized the teams and the way that the organization around the teams is organized, right? That's just because of the system that you're in. So for Luke, what he should do is look at that as his one, the same chart he can apply in a cycle time lens and in a lead time lens. So he can apply it from, let's say, backlog to in progress, and he can apply it also from backlog all the way to done. So he can map one cycle with the same chart that he can map the whole end to end. And what Luke's job is, and what he should feel successful by doing, is by making that a more robust, having less variation within it, right? So if we can understand all of the special causes, and you're looking at your scatter graph, the scatter graph should be less erratic over time, right? It should be, you should have less.
So the limits should be closer.
Exactly. And your common cause, that gap between your upper control limit and your lower control limit, should be reducing over time. And if you've got things working in that regular pattern where things are more consistent, things are more understood, you'll be able to give more accurate predictions of best case and worst case delivery scenarios for your team's backlog. You'll be able to base that all on data, and you'll be able to look at it from a snapshot in time, like when you joined a team, and when you maybe 6 months later after you've been working with a team for a while, and you'll be able to compare before and after. They're longer term measures, to be fair, but I think it's a great indicator of your ability to enact real change within a team and organization.
Absolutely. And now the happy people, right? Shiny happy people, as REM put it. What indicators should we be looking at in order to assess that we are, through our work and how we help teams, contributing to that ability to be more ourselves, and also to be happy about how we contribute and what we contribute to?
I mean, it's simply, and something that's often used even pre-agility, team surveys are great, right? as we know, our version of a team survey when we do our agile processes is a retrospective. So you should have in your eye on how people are showing up for that retrospective. It's a bit softer. It's maybe harder to quantify, but you need to be able to feel, right? You need to be a little bit empathetic. You need to get into the shoes of the people you work with and understand how would you know when they're having a good day or not, right? So you need to understand their walk, their tone of voice, their mannerisms, how fast do they normally move, right? And you can look at other indicators like bags under their eyes or, their skin, for example.
What they talk about and how often they talk about it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have to just listen. It's exactly the same things you teach, right? What do you see? What do you see? What are they thinking? What are they doing? What's their just general behavior like?
What comments do they leave in the retrospective of the retrospective, right? If you do, for example, the feedback door at the end of the retrospective, like what comments do they leave there?
Yeah, or do they not leave any?
Yeah, or do they not leave any? That's also an indicator, indeed.
Are they just completely switched off, right? And they're just completely annoyed at being in work at all.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's also a great focus for our one-on-ones, right? Like when we have one-on-ones with the team members, like pay attention to the cues, what is being said, and also, of course, what are the things that they don't talk about, because that also matters. For example, if people don't talk about bugs, that could be a great signal, right? Like, we don't have any quality problems, but of course, what's happening out there, what support is going through. And if there's a lot of bugs and nobody's talking about bugs, that's a signal that something is really missing in the team, for example.
Yeah, and to a new Scrum Master as well, don't be shy to have those one-to-ones. Don't be shy to frame those one-to-ones in the context of someone's wider life, because it might not be the workplace that's actually creating that change in behavior or that change in attitude or that change in morale. It might be something outside the workplace. They may not want to tell you all the details. Maybe they just say there's something happening, and that's okay. You don't need to pry, but don't be afraid of trying to find out what they want for their lives and how the current workplace makes sense for their wider life. And what does the next 6 to 12 months in the workplace create for their outside workplace life? Because the stronger that bond, right? The stronger the bond between workplace and my life, the easier it's going to be for me to show up, for me to be positive, for me to get on board, and for me to really help by using my skills and my mind, which, we're all knowledge workers. It's all creative, really, isn't it? We're all looking at problems to solve. It's highly complex. We've got some deep skill sets that allow us to turn those problems around. We've got to be able to communicate them, which is tough in itself sometimes. And to do that, you need willpower and you need commitment. You only get willpower and commitment when you can see how that workplace is helping you in a broader aspect of your life.
Absolutely.
So don't be shy to have those conversations either.
That's a great tip. Thank you for sharing that, Rayyan.
A pleasure.
Part of a successful Scrum Master job is to help the product owner. Tomorrow we explore that critical role in Scrum, the product owner role. Tune in to learn about product owner anti-patterns, what you can do to help the product owner, and a real-life example of what a great product owner is and what made it so. Tomorrow on our Friday Product Owner episode. See you tomorrow. We really hope you liked our show. And if you did, why not rate this podcast on Stitcher or iTunes? Share this podcast and let other Scrum Masters know about this valuable resource for their work. Remember that sharing is caring.